he is leading R&D activities in hydrogen economy at close to 2 decades of S&T experience in various scientific analytical skills. He enjoys analyzing technologies and interference, enabling him to find holistic and sustainable solutions using sound first principles. Word of alternate energy. For the last 9 to 10 years, he has been working on clean energy solutions, particularly fuel cells technology and hydrogen.
You're all busy today. Thanks for inviting me to participate in this panel in the presence of the distinguished panel members here. By sharing, whatever I have to share, from my experience so far. Personally, this is quite exciting for me to see how far we have come in last 1 year itself at the country level and globally. And we are talking about, hydrogen as a serious and large, hydrogen's serious and large role in a decarbonization strategy, right? In fact, it was even more thrilling. Honorable Prime Minister, from Red Fort on Independence Day, where he set the tone for us, for India, what he called Amrit Kal, the next, 25 years or so, for us reaching the independence in terms of energy, and obviously solving the menacing problem of climate change at the same time. Personally, I don't think there can be any exciting time than what we are today, where we are not just trying to tackle the most challenging problem probably the humankind has faced, but also solving as a country our future towards a sustainable energy and energy secure future. Of course, this is not going to be a single person or team, as a society, as a human race, to tackle such a issue of the climate change, and not just one level, but at a multiple level. It has to, we have to bring in the way we think about how energy moves, how we consume energy, what is the efficiencies of energy, and of course, no single entity has all the know-how, all the resources available to them, and it is pretty obvious that alliances and cooperations are the only way to go forward. So it is very apt to have which is very very tightly integrated energy system, and participate, how we towards building and building a clean and sustainable energy solution for tomorrow. My part brief, where I would just highlight a couple of 4 points. And of course, we can touch on some of those things, some of those points as we discuss further later in the session itself. So, as a country, the climate change and the decarbonization itself, in terms of use of hydrogen, presents a great opportunity for us, where we can finally think of energy security and probably, be a bit more aspirational and try to be energy export economy. Of course, our previous speakers have highlighted that we import about $150 billion worth of energy today, and primarily those are fossil-based energy systems, and they lead to ultimately the climate issues. Some of those points what I mentioned would require a tremendous level of cooperation and alliances between various stakeholders, and I personally feel that sooner we get started on this, better it is for the sustainable future. Thank you very much. I'll take a pause here and come back. Thanks.
Thank you very much. This was a very elaborate speech on several of the challenges and opportunities. One of the things that I just want to ask you, Pandey, you are mentioning about this interstate cooperation, that we need to have the same regulations, laws, and procedures, etc. So how do you, in the context of cooperation on a global scale, don't you think that we need to think that everything needs to be harmonized, so everybody have the same safety standards and rules and so forth? And how do you see that go?
Absolutely, Cyril. I think that is a very, very critical point, as you know, from the industry. Obviously, there are going to be various innovations coming from various places, and there is going to be bound to be a different solution, right? But we need to understand that for us to win, ultimately we have to win as a team, right? And that team is the globe itself, right? I mean, as the human race itself. So we shouldn't do that. I continuously keep hearing from my colleagues, friends, that we are talking about this hydrogen economy and this future, it seems to be expensive, right? And I keep telling them, yeah, it's expensive because you are used to now the cheap, fossil, which is coming at a cost which you cannot see, right? The cost is the human cost itself, right? When we talk about this socio-economic cost, several agencies try to put a number to that, which is, remarkable, but I don't think you can really, put a number to something, to life itself, right? So from a future generation point of view, from a country point of view, we have to create a different balance sheet, right? I mean, the balance sheet has to look at, what are we ultimately looking, and the fundamental of life itself, which is the energy, how are we looking at that? And from that perspective, if the industry also starts thinking in that way, that there is a need for us to create, least, let's say, friction, right? So that this new way of consuming energy, producing energy, can be realized. And because we are running out of the time, it has to be realized very soon. We might have to, keep probably that, competitive nature of excluding others, for some time, right? So I think it is in the interest of the entire value chain, entire, as I said, the global systems themselves, because you and I are breathing the same air, whether you're sitting in the Norway or India, right? There's no boundary there. So if I pollute it here, you will face that problem at some point. So I think it's quite obvious. I think that's why I said it has to happen at a grassroots level. We have to understand at an individual level that we all have to contribute. And obviously the topic is international alliances and this, but whether we want it or not, it's right from the day one it is like this, right? Because it's happening in the background of the climate change.
Thank you very much, Pandey. We will for sure come back to this, but let me introduce the next